Hey guys, Dr. Shook here. I am, believe it or not, I am just leaving my office, and I want to share with you guys something really quick that I've been sharing with a lot of patients lately, and it's just something that I've observed that we can typically do to reduce flare-ups during the holidays, or if you're going out to eat or you're doing something where you're going to potentially be exposed to foods that can cause a reaction or stimulate an immune response. So one of the things that you can do is, there are a lot of temptations around this time of year. And one of the best pieces of advice I can give you is, just try to be conscientious if you know there are foods that you react to that are going to trigger an immune response, and obviously try to avoid those. But sometimes you can't always avoid foods because cross-contamination, and you think something is, it doesn't have, there's maybe you think that a food, you don't know what's in a food, let's say. One of the things that you can do is you can take digestive enzymes. Digestive enzymes do more than just digest your food. So guys, if you're just joining me, I'm just going to give you a few tips to help reduce autoimmune flares and exacerbations over the holidays. And I'm going to give you some tips on foods, okay? And on how to reduce the reaction to partially digested food proteins. So number one is you want to make sure that you're taking enzymes, okay? So one good thing about digestive enzymes is that digestive enzymes don't only help you with digestion and absorption of food, but they also improve your oral tolerance to foods, okay? Now, oral tolerance is just an immune system. It's an immunology, a term that's used in immunology to basically describe your tolerance to foods. Basically, if you've lost tolerance to foods, you react to them. Your immune system reacts to them. So let me just say, digestive enzymes, what they help you do is they help you break down the proteins in foods so thoroughly that your immune system will not react to them. Because when you react to foods, you don't react to the full protein in the food. And that's, if you don't know, that's primarily what you react to in foods. You react to the protein in the food, or to partially digested protein, which is it's called a peptide. Okay, it's really, proteins in your body or in foods are made up of amino acids, and enzymes help you to break down those proteins very, very thoroughly into these individual amino acids, which your immune system won't react to. So take enzymes, and take enzymes if you're going to go out to eat, or if you're going to go to a holiday party or something and you're worried about getting exposed to foods. I'm not an advocate of taking them and like saying, I know I'm going to eat foods that I'm not supposed to, so I'm going to try to take enzymes to reduce my reactivity to them. I have people that do that, and I'm, it's better to err on the side of caution and not try to use enzymes as a way to cheat. But taking digestive enzymes, and you got to take enough enzymes, right? I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people that I work with, it's like, well, how many enzymes do I take? Well, the dose varies, and that's something that you need to know. Is like, if you're going to reduce the reactivity to food, you really have to take enough until you don't have a response. Now, I'm not giving you medical advice, but I mean, I'll tell you that I've seen people take digestive enzymes, 4 or 6 enzymes, and it depends on the person, and it depends on the meal and what it consists of. So take digestive enzymes. It will help you to break down food proteins very, very thoroughly so that you don't have an immune reaction. And then number 2 is there's another supplement that I really like, and it's basically so I recommend quite a bit a supplement called Endozin. It's Endozin. I don't think there's an E. Endozin, and it's made by Claire, Klare. And Endozin is L-glutamine and zinc carnosine. And so if you're autoimmune, one of the places that you really have to be focused is on your digestive tract health. So obviously, I'm talking about not reacting to foods, and if you're reacting to foods, you eat foods and you have an immune response, or you ache, or you hurt, or you have a flare-up, whatever it is, then the first thing you want to do is make sure you're taking digestive enzymes, and then you're taking, like, if you're going to a party, you take, like, say, 2 enzymes before you go, 2 enzymes after you're done, 2 enzymes before bed, right? And then you would take Endozin, which is the second thing that I'm going to suggest to you to help reduce flares. Endozin is zinc carnosine and L-glutamine, and you take, what I do if I'm using it, and I use it for flare-ups too, is I'll take 2 on an empty stomach before I go to bed, and 2 capsules of Endozin, and that has L-glutamine and zinc carnosine. So that really helps to heal leaky gut, that helps to seal off the GI tract, and it helps to reduce flares. And then there's other things that you can do, but those are going to be the 2 main tips. Take plenty of enzymes before you go eat, after you eat, and then even before bed. And then The second thing is take Endozen or take glutamine, L-glutamine, and I like zinc carnosine. It's a particular form of zinc that's in Endozen, which is made by Claire Labs, Klare, and it's a great thing to take. Like, I take it at night, and I recommend that a lot of my patients and distance consulting clients I'm working with take it in the evening, because what it does is it helps them to heal their gut if they've had a flare or an exposure. So digestive enzymes, something like Endozen, which is zinc carnosine, and L-glutamine, right, with something to take at night to help seal and heal the gut wall. And if there's anything else that I can recommend, just make sure you guys keep your vitamin D levels high, right? These are just real basic things. I'm just trying to help you reduce flare-ups over the holidays, and really, if you know you're going to be eating out or eating at a party or something, and you're going to be exposed to foods that are probably cross-contaminated, or if you know you're going to cheat, I'm trying to give you some tips to help you out. Okay, so I hope this helps you guys out. I gotta go. I gotta get home and see my kids, and I've got to pick up some food for them. But I hope you guys have a wonderful holidays, and I'll talk to you soon. I really appreciate you guys following us. I appreciate you being part of our group, and we're trying to do everything we can to support you guys. We know there's tons and tons of questions, but there's just not enough time for us, and there's no way that I can answer them all. I'd love to, so I'm trying to record videos, and I'm watching what you guys are posting and what you guys are talking about, and I just really appreciate you, and hope that what we've done and what we continue to do really gives you value and helps you to live a better life. So I do appreciate you. Thanks, Tony. Merry Christmas to you too. Hey, Michelle, how are you doing? Goiters, yeah, I can do that. I'll put it if you guys will, just on this video, if there's a topic or something that you want me to talk about or that you want to learn about, just kind of post it in these comments, and then I'll come back to it, and I'll have my staff come back to it, and we'll look through this list of things that you guys are interested in learning more about, and I'll see if I can't make some videos, record some videos specifically on that, or do something, but we'll try to educate you and teach you more about that. But I do appreciate you. Hey, Rachel, you're welcome. You're welcome, Tony, Missy. Yeah, hi, Missy. Sorry to hear that. I know, whenever I work with people all over, when people come in to see me, they primarily come in because they have thyroid problems that they know of, or they think they have thyroid problems. And most of the time I work with people that have Hashimoto's, which is the most common cause of autoimmune thyroid conditions, or it's the most common reason for hypothyroidism is Hashimoto's, and it's the most common autoimmune condition. So I see a lot of people that have other conditions, like they come in and then we find out that not only do they have Hashimoto's, but they have like inflammatory bowel disease, they have pernicious anemia, which is an autoimmune anemia. They'll have type 1.5 diabetes, which is basically it's an adult onset of autoimmune diabetes. I mean, there's a lot of things we find. They can have celiac, they can have lupus, they can have MS. So I'm working on a case study that I'm putting together. I want to share with you guys where anyway, I'll share that later, but sorry to hear that. And really, if you're autoimmune, the situation and what you really need to do is you need to focus on dampening the autoimmune process. And there's a lot of things that you can do to try to help yourself do that. There's if someone's going to ask me, like, I'm autoimmune, what can I do? I mean, the first thing I'm going to tell you is, you really got to focus on diet first. That's the easiest thing that an individual can do to help themselves, is focus on diet first. And, we've got all kinds of resources and stuff that we've put together, and I've got a program, but, you can go and do the autoimmune paleo diet, which is something that's completely free. You can research, and there's a lot of information on it now. That's a reasonable place to start for a lot of people. Is like AIP, which is a good way to try to reduce or basically teaches you the impact that food's having on your symptoms and on your autoimmune condition. It's really a good nutrient dense diet that helps. But anyway, hope that's helpful to you. Hey, Missy. Yeah, type 2. The thing is like, I see type 2 diabetics a lot. I mean, as you can imagine, no one, we are a community of typically, we have chronic health problems, right? So we tend to have like a lot of things going on at once. And it doesn't mean you can't live a good, happy, vibrant life, but there's a lot of work that has to go into it. And Missy, in particular, like the type 2, we see that a lot, like very, very frequently. A lot of people, I'd say more than half of my patient base has type 2 diabetes, or they're pre-diabetic, right? So we work on all those things at one time. I mean, that's one of the interesting things about this world of like functional medicine, which is pretty much what I practice, is that you don't necessarily treat a condition. You look at what all's happening with the person. You look at their diet. You look at their lifestyle. You look at you try to get as much information as you can through testing if it's possible, if the person has a budget to do that, and you try to put together a plan that addresses their systemic health, so their foundational body chemistry. And when you start doing that, and because it's going to require changing diet, it's going to require temporary nutritional supplementation typically, you really start to address a lot of things at one time. And so you're addressing blood sugar and anemias and autoimmunity and inflammation, and you're optimizing thyroid physiology. You can do a lot of things at once, so you can really help like type 2 and all that good stuff too. Hey Sharon, you have Graves. You know, Graves is it's not as common as Hashimoto, so people don't talk about it as much, but really you have to address it very similarly to any other autoimmune condition. You have to identify the best that you can the drivers of the autoimmune process and work to eliminate them from your diet, or support your body's chemistry, like if you're deficient in nutrients or vitamins. But you remove the immune system triggers, you support optimal immune function, and that's really how, you know, in a nutshell, how you want to address most autoimmune conditions. Now with Graves, you have to be medically managed unless you've already had it, you know, so a surgery or ablation. But you have to be medically managed because you have to have someone on your team that's going to, if you have a thyroid storm, be able to give you a medication to suppress that and arrest that very quickly. So anytime I work with someone with Graves, I make sure that they at least have an endocrinologist or someone that's checking and managing their Graves very, very closely. So we have a team together, because that's really the ideal situation, is you have a healthcare team. But unfortunately, that's just not the reality today. Not yet. I mean, it's getting better, but still just a lot of lack of understanding and knowledge amongst a lot of primary care physicians and specialists. It's just not there yet, but we're not doing voodoo, right? What functional medicine is really a very, very scientific approach to trying to help people naturally and help them support their health naturally. And so we don't want to not have a good medical team, but we need to really take as comprehensive and as holistic of an approach as possible. Anyway, hey Tracy. Tracy, antibodies, you just have to have lab high antibodies. Well, and some people will even say they don't even have to be lab high, but the leading idea in theory is that some antibodies are normal because it's part of a cleanup mechanism that the immune system uses to destroy and clean up like dead cells. Because remember, most of the cells of your body go through division, and when they divide and multiply, there's old cells die and new cells are formed. So antibodies, as far as antibody levels go, you definitely have to, we think that some antibodies are normal, and the lab ranges are such. So if you're above the lab range, or if you're real close to the lab range, I mean, you can probably say that's Hashimoto's. But you don't have to have antibodies to have Hashimoto's. You can be seronegative, meaning no antibodies. So it's kind of tricky, but the antibodies are the best way to screen for it. I'm sorry, Missy. I know it's tough out there because it's hard to say. It's different. I think everyone in healthcare is trying to help you, but sometimes you do feel like they just don't care. And I'm sorry that you've had that experience. You're welcome, Yvonne. Hey, Rachel, reactive hypoglycemia. Yes, huge. Be real careful. Reactive hypoglycemia is super common. So I'm glad the information I've given you has helped you. You'll sleep better. Your hormones will be much better if you can stabilize your blood sugar. I do know about CRP levels. You got to have good CRP levels. If they're high, there's a reason for it, and it needs to be investigated, Missy. Hey Monica, yeah, if your levels are normal, but you still can't lose weight, there's something that's being missed. There's a lot of, it's just really, I wish that we could give real simple answers to a lot of these questions, but the fact is there's a lot of different hormonal systems and a lot of different things that contribute to metabolism. And so your thyroid hormone numbers can look okay, but your doctors, most of the time when people say, hey, my thyroid numbers look good, they haven't had them checked. They haven't had, if they have had anything other than TSH, it's usually like T3 and T4, and those are good, and that's better than not having them, but you still need to have T3 uptake and reverse T3, things like that checked, because there's a lot of things that can happen that can, most of the people that I see in practice, quite frankly, they have normal thyroid hormone levels, either because their body makes enough, or either because they're supplementing, and the supplements have contributed to, have given them or provided them with adequate hormone levels, but they still feel bad and they still have all the symptoms. So let me tell you, the two most common reasons is that there's high inflammation, so you need to look at CRP, C-reactive protein, and homocysteine, and if those are high, those need to come down, and you need to investigate why. And the second thing is there's thyroid hormone resistance. So a lot of people are being overdosed. They're taking so much hormone because they think that if I'm not getting the effect of it and I'm not losing weight or hair loss, the two biggest group of people that I see that are taking too much thyroid hormone typically are people that are not losing enough weight, or they're not losing weight, so they just, their doctors aren't sure what to do, so they just give them more hormone, or they're people that are losing hair. And those are two things that are very challenging and emotional, and you just try to do what you can to do it. So I understand the motivation that your doctors have, but those tend to be people that are taking too much hormone, and when you take too much thyroid hormone, it can have an effect where it causes receptor resistance, and it actually decreases your sensitivity to the hormone, so it can make you feel hypo, and it's not just that you're going to have hyper symptoms. So anyway, guys, I would love to stay on here and talk. I see we've got a nice group watching us, and I'd love to give you some good feedback. Please do this. Just if there's things you want to learn more about, like, post them in the comments even after this video is done. I think you can do that. And I'll have my staff, we'll come back and we'll make a list of things, and we'll make videos and try to put together resources for you. But I got to go pick up food, or it's going to be cold, and my kids are going to be mad at me. So I hope you guys have a wonderful, wonderful night, and happy holidays. I really appreciate you all, and I'll do the best that I can to help you out. I know there's a lot of people that are struggling, and it's just my mission to help you guys try to really improve your health, and I'll do everything I can to empower you so that you can take your health back, and you can be your own advocate, and be a better partner with your doctors too. Okay, so appreciate you so much. Hope you have a wonderful day, and look forward to communicating and trying to help you guys out in the future. But I really appreciate you, and I hope you have a good night. Thanks. Hey guys, Dr. Shook, thank you for viewing our videos. I hope they help you out. If you want to, just subscribe to our channel somewhere here. You can watch a video that YouTube's actually selected for you, so hopefully it'll help you out. If you need any other information or resources, just look in the description. We've got links to our website, to our 9 lab test guidebook, and everything else that we do. I really appreciate you, and I hope you guys have a great